Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. It's been a while since I started believing or thinking that actually poverty is not a problem that could not be solved. I think it's a problem that some people with abilities to solve it don't really want to solve it. And that is, I think, based on, I have to use this word even if I don't like it, greed. It's not illegal to be a greedy man. I'm okay with being greedy because greediness is a driving force. And yeah, that could alter or affect others as others can affect you, by working with other ideas as equity, diversity, and all that, supposedly good values here, not bad values, good values. But on the other hand, I think greed, if you know how to handle it, is a positive driving force. Why did I say that? I don't think that poverty cannot be, I don't want to say eradicated, but alleviated. It's because I can see how fast, this is an example, how fast billions of dollars are provided when they needed by some certain kind of entities and other interests that provide these billions think is beneficial to them. When someone gives money to someone else, do not think, I'm talking about in real life, do not think that that's a help. No, it's I see something that I will benefit out of it if I lend you the money. That's what it is. We say, well, we received $5 billion help. Well, if that would be help, that would be without bringing it back, or no interest, or no strings attached. But it's not like that. That means there's no help. Well, I help you. Without it, you wouldn't do anything. Yeah, but you enslave me by doing that. So I should not take your help. What's going on here? Ukraine received $115 billion. They just received or will receive $115 billion from international partners that we do not know who they are. This is when you are about to, who's controlling this and who's doing this? Well, that's all you have, international partners. They know who they are. We are not supposed to have them named because we might, ask questions, direct questions. So you see, $115 billion were easily available. I don't care about Ukraine or this Zelensky Stein. I don't care about that. It's irrelevant who the little puppets are. I'm talking about how this was just like this available. But you don't have millions of dollars to build schools, to build hospitals, to build kindergartens, to build, universities, to build something that really, infrastructure, roads, houses, apartment buildings for the poor, creating an environment where you can invest in order to put people to work and gain money, earn money, and pay taxes. No, but you have this available right there. Remember when the British nurses and physiotherapists and physiotherapists and drivers and cab drivers and all those guys went on strike in Great Britain, and the teachers, and what were they told by the Sunak and company? We don't have the funds to give you. We can't, give you a raise in your poor, shitty salaries. We don't have it. But then they immediately donated, gave more aid to Ukraine. And they keep doing that. So that shows the different angle of how things are ran. And these are your people. Your wealth depends on the people's, then your nation. How much they produce, so how much you can tax them. Remember, when you're going to tax them more and more and more, you're going to have problems. History is a witness. And what kind of problems? So here you have $115 billion just like this from international partners. International partners. All right, let's see what this article has to say. Ukrainian Prime Minister of Ukraine, Denis Shmyhal, has said that Ukraine plans to receive at least $115 billion in long-term financial assistance from its international partners. I didn't know Ukraine has these international partners, and how come they have them only now? How come they didn't have them, I don't know, 20 years ago? Or, I don't know, 7 years ago? It makes you think that these partners somehow profit out of what's going on in Ukraine, unfortunately, and makes you maybe wonder if they pushed in a certain direction here and there. Well, I don't know, we're going to find out that maybe in 20 years, or maybe never. Shmyhal, after participating in a ministerial roundtable in support of Ukraine at World Bank. That's all you know. World Bank. And World Bank, okay, who's there? Who's behind it? Who are the banks also affiliated, or who are the whatever entities providing the funds? World Bank, just by itself. And I'm quoting, "Mobilizing resources for Ukraine's restoration is one of the main topics of my working visit to Washington." I told you there would be a lot of economic opportunities, as Shmyhal said. Shmyhal, or it was Zelensky, one of these guys, said, well, this war in Ukraine will open a lot of economic opportunities. Yes, or reconstruction. I destroy so I can reconstruct. Remember Iraq? Yeah, okay, I do. And I'm quoting again, "International partners will provide Ukraine with $115 billion in long-term support. This will not only ensure our financial stability without producing anything, but would also send a clear message to Russia that Ukraine's allies will support us for as long as it takes until we are completely victorious." Well, if the World Bank does that, that's their money, but if that affects me personally, well, I would like to be asked if I agree with this support for as long as it takes. But I'm not asked, because that's how it works in a democracy. You vote one time and you have people, I'm talking about, no, not the World Bank, I'm talking about our country, because the World Bank is what it is, but I'd have no authority or nothing to say about, not nothing to say, I have a lot to say, but I don't have any influence about how that's ran. But the United States, how it's ran, I mean, supposedly I'm voting, right? So if I'm voting, what the hell? And I'm quoting, "We are starting the restoration now. In 2023, $14 billion will be needed for a rapid restoration project. We are negotiating with partners to raise all the necessary funds this summer. This way, we will be able to fulfill all the tasks in the 5 priority areas of restoration." Now, this is what Shmyhal does. You see this? This is a big opportunity for you if I allow you to invest here. So if I say no, you cannot invest here and probably make a big profit and take over certain things, because we will not be able to pay back if you lend us money. Therefore, you're going to take over certain kind of things. That's how IMF and World Bank functions. You have collateral. A country provides collateral when it gets, and if they cannot pay, then the banks take whatever that collateral was used in the transaction. So Ukraine is, Shmyhal and others say, okay, I'm not saying that Shmyhal has the whole power. Shmyhal can be kicked out and someone else be put in that will, not put in, but put in, that would agree with everything those guys say. But the opportunity here is he's not negotiating. You think that Shmyhal is negotiating? He can be removed yesterday. And someone more perceptive to the World Bank's help and support could be placed in instead of Shmyhal. Unless you really think that Shmyhal was appointed by the elected president of Ukraine, Zelensky, which Zelensky appointed Shmyhal, and then Zelensky appointed Reznikov, and then Zelensky appointed Yermak. As I said many times, Anyway, he can appoint whomever he wants. The problem is, what is the Ukrainian nation saying? Unfortunately, they are bent over and anyway, helped a lot. So the $115 billion is there to eradicate the problems in Ukraine. I almost guarantee you nothing, not nothing, but things will not be as they say. They will be rosy and all that. Yeah, and this money is not available for other countries. Other countries that, this is interesting, You see corporations that make their money, let's say in the United States of America, based on, you know, the consumption and taxation of that particular country, which is, let's use United States of America, and then you see this corporation somehow going and investing and, you know, in other countries with the money from here, and they kind of leave the country that actually got them great, but through a fair transaction, I must say. But they have no allegiance for the pensions for these guys, for whatever they do. They just move to, I don't know, let's say South Korea, or they invest in, I don't know, Bangladesh or something like that. And then here is like, we used you, now it's time to keep you around here. We're not going to give you jobs anymore. We're just going to give you products. I don't know if you're going to have the money, but you know how you're going to have the money? That your government is going to print the money that you're going to use to buy our products that we build and produce in other countries, creating that economy, giving those people work to do. They will have a better life, they will get better, and you're going to stay what? As a dependent, government-dependent, whatever, with subsidies and BS. And you're going to buy our stuff. I get richer, those guys, after I'm done with it, those guys, I'm going to move somewhere else. And this is the capital, goes around, but it has no allegiance. No allegiance. And sometimes, you know, you need to have allegiance if you want to be, and they want to be perceived as being good. You know, that's another thing. You got a rapist who is a known rapist, but he wants to be known in the society as a outstanding and perfect individual, member of the society. Well, it doesn't really work that way. But if you look around you on the international, in a global scale, you have one country in particular who really might, you know, look like that. You know, does this, does that, climbs on everybody's corpses, and then you gotta say that they are perfect. Well, nobody's perfect, but, you know, that's why I like, if you're a thug, say that you're a thug. I don't like thugs that want everybody else to say, oh, you're fantastic, you're not a thug. I don't like that. I mean, it's even more, you know, insulting. But anyway, so here we have $115 billion. I'm okay with that. If that would be used okay and would help Ukrainian nation. But I don't think with these guys in charge over there and the whole little thing that goes around, I don't think that's going to be used for the Ukrainian people per se. Unfortunately, but that's my assessment. I've been wrong before, but I don't think I'll be wrong on this one. But it's going to take a while, and then they will move the goalpost all the time further and further and further. So if they're not going to reach it here, they're going to say, well, we need 20 more years. After 20 more years, which we don't have, we're going to reach we're going to need 10 more years. Why? That's the argument. The environment change. Everything is a dynamic process. Things, variables did what they do best, being variables. Therefore, now we have to change. We have to adjust. This happens with this financial advisors company. You know, they go over there and say, well, we're going to take care of your company. Your company is in a big doo-doo. You hired us, and we're going to help you. And they give you a plan, an economic plan or whatever plan, and production plan, and say, okay, if you follow these steps, I have to give you a deadline. In 1 year, we're going to see this. In 2 years, we're going to see this. In 3 years, and in 10 years, you're going to be the best on the market. Well, after they don't reach that in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, they're going to say, well, yeah, but things change. We have to renegotiate, rearrange, replan. Yeah, like I'm an idiot. Yes, you are. That's why basically they say. But they are over there to help them, and you hire them. It's not that they came and, okay, I get you. No. So the same here. Shmyhal went over there, but the problem is you can create an environment, a situation where they will come to you. You know what I mean? Like, look at what's going on in Ukraine. That's a war over there. Don't you think that maybe there were some, and I'm pretty sure there were, I mean, it's stupid not to think that there were some people who said, well, I hope that happened, or what, I hope that happened. And they worked actively in a certain direction. Why? To create a certain environment. Look at the Nord Stream 1, and then they come as helpers. Somehow, we are the ones. Remember? But anyway, they get the money from the international partners. Who are they? World Bank. Okay, who's behind that? Crickets, nothing. Anyway, thank you very much for being with me again today, my friends. Stay strong, stay smart. Look for the truth and be just.